What's going on, everybody? I'm Dylan. I run Quest for Nostalgia, and let's get into how I made this red Power Ranger Turbo helmet.
So yeah, I'm Dylan. I run Quest for Nostalgia. I teach you guys how I make all of my 3D printed props, the Buster Sword, the White Ranger armor, the different Mighty Morphin Power Ranger helmets, and different projects like that. But in this video, we're talking about the red Power Ranger Turbo helmet. This is a commission for my buddy Ivan, and I'm super stoked to get this out to him. So I'm going to make this video and then send it right away to them. But let's talk a little bit about this helmet. Like I mentioned in the White Ranger video, my year has been so influenced by JDF, and the passing of him was really abrupt and just like hard hitting. And so it was kind of crazy that I had two projects that I was working on at the time of that passing. We just did the armor video here, and then also to have this, another character that he portrayed in the, Power Ranger franchise. And so it was really surreal again to be working on another project, but it adds more meaning to the project. I know Ivan is going to be super stoked to have, memorabilia from that and something for him to, share his memories and his nostalgia for that as a kid. So that already just added more meaning to the project as we went, but it was something that I really wanted to do, and I really wanted to knock this commission out of the park. Let me know in the comments below, what's your favorite season of Power Rangers? Did you even watch Turbo? What did you think of, the little kid turning to a full-size Ranger in Turbo if you did see it? I watched this video again while I was working on this project, and it was really funny, and I honestly really enjoyed watching the movie again. It has a lot of the Mighty Morphin people come back into that movie as well, so I had a good time with it overall. And as always, I like to start by thanking the people that have supported this channel, the subscribers, anybody who likes and comments, all of those things. People who have, subscribed to Patreon and just wanted to be a monetary backer, or people who have sent Amazon gifts. Justin, Q, Lindsay, Jacob, thank you so much for sending plastic. That allows me to do projects that I want to do and really just lets me be creative and not be so worried about, how much plastic I have and what I have to, kind of pick and choose projects. You guys mean the world to me, and I really appreciate you guys helping fund, creative projects. Let's get into the actual build of this video. This is the free file from Thingiverse. This is by Budwin. Anybody can download this for free. I did a little bit of a modification. When you see it in the back here, I made this 1/2 as opposed to it has a little slit here. I decided to cut it and then add it into a 2-piece so that way it's kind of more like the other helmets that I have over there. But a super nice file, and it really is unbelievable that this is a free file over there on Thingiverse. I think this is amazing and just so high quality. And so let's get into how you actually finish a helmet like this. And this can be used for pretty much every Power Ranger helmet you can think of. The process is going to be very, very similar. This just has some nuances, like the LED eyes that I was super excited to put in there. And then also, just different things like the ears and whatnot have a few different steps. As always, I print everything with PLA, and so the first thing to get rid of those layer lines is 80 grit. I sand 80 grit with a power sander, and then I also use a sponge and then hand sand the small details. I play around a lot with the different kind of steps to smooth these helmets down, whether it be with Bondo and acetone, with UV resin or fiberglass resin. With this project, I decided to go with Bondo and acetone, using just a small brush from the dollar store, making that mixture, and then painting it onto the helmet, and mainly focusing on just the areas of the very front where the finishing of the print stopped, because that usually has the hardest layer lines. So yeah, after I have all the Bondo glazing putty, painted onto the helmet, then I go ahead and I sand it with 120. After I've got those first 3 steps done, now it's time to hit it with some filler primer. I'm using the Duplicolor filler primer, and that stuff is really nice. I really enjoy using this. This is a good line of defense against the layer lines of the helmet, especially after already doing the Bondo glazing putty plus this. It's really going to get rid of layer lines really easily. Now with that nice filler primer on there, I just go ahead and I sand it with 220 grit. So it's getting really cold here, so you're going to see me start sanding 220 outside, but then I had to figure out how to sand inside of the garage and get out of that cold wind because it was making it very, very hard to finish projects in this cold temperature. So I threw down a little plastic tarping and sat on that and decided to sand inside of the garage, which helped so much just to get out of the wind. All these build videos make everything look super fast and super easy, but I wanted to throw in a little bit longer of a clip here of just showing you how long it takes just to sand, say, the mouth of this helmet, just with the details and going in there and making sure you're getting in there something that's going to be silver and metallic. You really want to make sure is smooth because that metallic will show all of the flaws. So you really got to take your time, and I just wanted to put a little bit longer clip here to show you it's not just super speedy, super fast. You're going to have to put in the time and effort into these projects. After the 220 is done, I actually hit it with another round of that Duplicolor filler primer. And here's the next upgrade to that. So I got rid of that little tarp. I actually ended up buying 2 grow tents. They're pretty big. I bought one that was 4 foot by 4 foot by 6 foot, and one that was 5 foot by 5 foot by 6 foot. And one of them I'm going to sand in, and one of them I will paint in. It's super nice because I can put the space heater in there, turn that on for like 3 minutes, and that whole box is nice and toasty, and then I'm good to go to work on these projects. So the tent's all set up, then it's time for 320 grit, and this is going to be my last bit of sanding for most of the colors, but I will be doing a wet sand for those metallics. So yeah, I just shut myself off into the tent, and it's nice and toasty, and I'm ready to work on that 320 grit. After the 320 was done, then I worked on putting on the clasp. I'm just using the regular buckle clasp that I use on the other Mighty Morphin helmets on there. So I use super glue to get them aligned where I want them to go. I drill through the holes that are in there, and then I use rivets to assemble them. I have a little hand rivet gun that I got from Harbor Freight for like $5. You want to do that before your first real primer layer, because that way you can prime the buckles and then start to match the colors with the buckles as well. After the helmet was clasped, then I decided to go through and spray it with gloss black as the first primer. You can really use any primer you want for this stage here because we're going to be wet sanding right afterwards. So I go ahead and I wet sand the helmet because whenever there's going to be something that's metallic, I like to wet sand that because that way it gets really nice and smooth and it really helps those metallics pop. With wet sanding done, it was time to paint the helmet gloss black for the areas that were going to be silver and then also the parts that were going to remain a gloss black. So this helmet actually has 2 different color metals on there. So it has kind of a silver for the mouth and then a chrome for the ears and the kind of the cage around it. So I did the silver mouth first. And then I covered the silver mouth area off so that it wouldn't get hit and sprayed the ear areas chrome. You're going to want to let those metallics cure for a long time. You do not want to mask chrome or metal, anything like that super early. You don't want to mask any paint super early. So let it all cure, make sure it's nice and hard, give it 2 days even, and then go ahead and mask off those ears and that mouth. And with those masked off, it's time for the red. Make sure you're doing nice thin coats. It's going to take probably 2 different layers. Don't go crazy with it. Spray, mist it, and then go over for a second coat to really get a really nice coverage. With the red done, again, wait. Let it wait, and then you want to mask it off. Give it another day. Give it 2 days. You know, let the cure really happen for that, so that way it doesn't do anything weird with the tape. Then mask off all of the red areas, just leaving the areas that you want chrome behind. I'm just using Rust-Oleum Chrome, and I spray the cage area where the lights are going to be and the little areas up top with that chrome color paint. And with all of those colors laid down, now it's time to just hit it with a 1K clear coat, and that really helps keep all the metallics nice and shiny and give a really nice high shine to the helmet. And now it's time for these finishing kind of accessories. So as always, I make a paper template for the visor, I just stick paper behind and trace it all out. And then I transfer that over to a face shield. I use 5% window tint on that face shield. And then I also had to do that with the ears. So I made little discs to fill in the holes of the ears. You'll see that with the file. But just with the scraps of the face shield and window tint as well, I use those. And then I hot glue that into the helmet. That's how I use for all of the visors, and it comes out looking really, really nice. And now is that next step that really takes this helmet to the next level. It's those LEDs in the top. What I did was I found the LEDs that I wanted to use, and then I took a drill bit that matched the same size as the LED light. And first I used a smaller drill bit to drill through, and then I used that same size LED drill bit to make the hole a little bit bigger. All you have to do is stick the LED through there, and then I hot glued that from behind to make it nice and secure, and I hot glued the battery pack into the helmet as well. And the last touch is just to make a little bit of a hinge there. So you have the clasp on the bottom, I elastic the hinge on top, and then you're good to go. This helmet looks amazing, and it looks so cool with the lights on. The lights just take it to a whole nother level. I hope you guys agree. So yeah, the lights just have a battery pack in the top there. It's super easy to turn on. It's very easy to wear still, as you saw in the very beginning of the video, and it just comes out looking so, so cool. One thing that I forgot to mention in the video was actually the ears here. Originally, I was just going to leave these silver, but I even wanted these black rings done around it. You can easily make little templates. You saw when I masked the helmet originally, I just kind of made a circle there. You can make smaller circles out of tape and then paint a little bit of black and then paint silver, hand paint it. This is actually vinyl, so I used a Cricut vinyl cutter, and that just made these black vinyl rings, and then I put them on before I clear coated, so that way it all matched and tied in, looking really, really nice here. But you could definitely leave it silver for sure, and depending on the file that you choose, if you don't choose the Budwin file, there may actually be lines already engraved in it. This one is just a little bit smooth, so you kind of have to make your own lines for these ears. As always, if you made it to the end of the video, thank you so much. I mean, that really helps. Watch time is so important for these videos to be shared. I hope that you guys enjoyed the build. I loved making this helmet. I'm super excited to get this sent out to Ivan. Doing commissions like this are always a gift and a curse. You've seen a few videos that have been commissions, and it's going to be sad to, you know, get rid of this helmet. You know, you put a lot of work into it. You spend a lot of time with it. It's an important helmet, but I'm super excited for Ivan to get this again. It's another memory, another celebration of Jason David Franken, so I'm excited for him to get, you know, a piece of nostalgia sent his way. Like I said, do all the YouTube things, like, comment, subscribe, you know, comment down below, let me know your favorite season of Power Rangers, things that you're hoping that maybe I'll get around to, or, you know, what's your favorite project that I've done so far. But I love you guys. I thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.